This is CBW, also known as Conservative Black Woman, and some of you know me as Robin. And I'm here today in front of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House, the house of our president, where he lives. If you look around here today, there's some protesters. There's a sign here decrying the corruption in government in Canada. There is to my left their White House 24 hours a day anti-nuclear peace vigil. Okay, so these are copious dissenters here. Look, get a shot of that picture of Bush. You see it? It says the real terrorists. The George Bush is the real terrorist. And here is where I want to start making my point. Do you get it? Over. That's the picture. Well, to start, unemployment rate for African Americans is 16.5%. It was only 11% when George Bush was president. Barack Obama, without the consent of Congress, just dropped missiles in Libya. I'm sure that those weren't cheap. That money could have been used to save some of the houses that black people are losing due to the housing crisis. Could have been used towards education. But the real reason that black people aren't pissed off is because we've bought into the fake left-right paradigm. We've bought into the fake system, the fake reality that the propaganda media and the totalitarian state has programmed us to buy into. And that is something that we need to break. We need to start seeing the world as it is and not how MSNBC, CNN, and even Fox wants us to perceive it. We need to start looking at the facts, and we need to start accepting the truth and accepting the facts, holding Barack Obama accountable, and not being afraid to answer honestly and with intellectual integrity when it comes to his administration. Well, he is the president to all Americans. I was speaking to African Americans because African Americans are the ones that defend him to a fault. The African Americans are the ones who will not allow for any honest interpretation of his actions. So that is why I mentioned what has not improved for black America under his administration. Not to mention the fact and the images that I'll never get out of my head of African Americans standing out here in January of 2008 in sub-zero temperatures, crying and rejoicing the supposed victory or success of having the first black president. It really meant nothing. It's a 4-year term. It meant nothing because Barack Obama, as was George Bush, as was Bill Clinton, as was every president since 1913, is nothing but a employee, a puppet, not of the people, but of an international, criminal, global banking cabal. Employee, a puppet, not of the people, but of an international, criminal, global banking cabal has invaded our government. They are the invisible hand of our government. They make international policy decisions. There are lots of non-governmental organizations, one being the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, who are independent, powerful, elite citizens who dictate foreign policy. And that's who the president answers to. Not to you, not to me, not to anybody that casted a vote. It's a game, it's a racket, it's a mind. I can't say the F word, but it's a mind F. Well, because their actions indicate that they are. Very rarely is the will of the people carried out. With George Bush, he invaded Iraq. unconstitutionally without the consent of Congress, just as Bill Clinton did in Kosovo without the consent of Congress, just as Barack Obama did with Libya without the consent of Congress. They override American sovereignty and give it to the UN. UN is a New World Order organization. And so basically that's why. So that's a narrative for another day, but I have a lot to say about it. And I'll give you the whole truth, the plain truth, the unadulterated truth, footnoted. So stay tuned.